Today I want to talk about my experience reading for an hour every day for 30 days. Now, to be 100% transparent, I didn't read the whole time. I also listened to audiobooks, but I said I was going to do that when I introduced this challenge at the end of my meditation video. So in total, I listened to audiobooks for just over 30 hours, and I read physical books for about 15 hours. I gave this challenge to myself because I've been on this journey of self-improvement and self-realization for some time now, and I hadn't voluntarily picked up and read a book in probably close to a decade. Feels weird to say that because a decade is like a long time, but I just never developed that habit early on. It's a well-known fact that you can learn a lot from books, and I've seen an increasingly large number of videos online about top 5 self-help books or top 10 books that can change your life. I didn't know how much I bought into this notion that reading a book would be this life-changing thing, but I knew I had a lot left to learn in this lifetime, and it couldn't hurt to try. So before I get into talking about the books that I read or listened to, I want to just go over a few things I learned about books in general. The first is that it's important to know that books hold significance to the individual. So everyone's different, right? And a book that has a huge impact on you might not have much of an impact on me, and vice versa. There are books that I finished in these past 30 days that I wouldn't really recommend to anyone because I just wasn't captured or impacted by what they were saying. But some of those books had really high reviews when I looked at them. If I missed a part of one of those books because I wasn't focused on it, I wouldn't really care enough to go back and reread it or listen to it again. Whereas other books that I was interested in, I'm reading them slowly and making sure that I understand and take in each and every word on every page. It really depends on what you enjoy and what you're looking for as an individual. Another realization I had is that there's still so much to learn. It doesn't matter how old you are, how long you've gone to school, how many certifications you have or whatever. You know, we're all still learning no matter what. You don't know it all, and I certainly don't know it all. We should never stop wanting to learn more, and books are a great way to keep learning. I, for one, can't wait to keep learning and keep reading more. The last thing I want to touch on before, getting into the books that I read and maybe giving you guys some recommendations is that it's super important to be able to understand and see life in all these different perspectives. Books have the power to not only give you like this new fresh perspective on life, but also kind of serve as a reminder that everyone in the world has their own unique perspective. You can never fully know all the experiences that someone has gone through to mold them into the person they are today. So appreciate people and their uniqueness. Okay, so let's go over some of the books that had the most impact on me during this challenge. So in total, I finished 6 books. There were 2 that I just couldn't really get into, so I didn't finish them. I just kind of gave up. And then there are also 2 that I'm still reading and listening to as I record this. Of the 2 that I'm still reading, one is called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, and it's close to 14 hours long. I highly recommend it though. Obviously you're not going to finish it in 1 or 2 settings, but chop it up, and it's really good for if you need like motivation and a kick in the you-know-what to just get going in life. David Goggins' life story is nothing short of incredible. So the other one that I'm reading right now is Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, and it's paired with a workbook, so I'm really taking my time going through the chapters and doing everything in the workbook in order to get the most out of the book. This is basically like the master of all self-help books, and it's perfect for the entrepreneur type person. It's really great for anyone who pretty much has a goal in life and wants to use this as a roadmap to success, because it helps you break down your goals and pretty much gives you this plan of what you need to do no matter what your goal is. So I'm not going to go too much into detail on those, obviously, because I'm not done, and it wouldn't be a super fair review, but I do think they're great so far. So let's get into the 3 books that had the most impact on my life that I have finished. So the first book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This book really shifted my thinking on just kind of the overall process of, becoming rich. I always thought my life would go something like this. So you attend college, you get a good job, right? That's kind of the process. And then you start a family and you buy a house. And I guess over time you move up the ladder at your job and save money and then somehow become rich. So Kiyosaki really makes you question that belief or that process and the belief that your house is an asset, and that buying a house should be one of your first big purchases. I think a lot of us think that way, that a house is our first big purchase as an adult. That's just kind of what we're told, and none of us really question that. So buying a house obviously is an incredible feeling, gives you peace of mind, but it's not really an investment. You can't really make money on it unless you get lucky and there's a significant price appreciation. But even then, are you really going to, uproot your family with this big disruptive move just to make a quick buck? Most of us buy a house because we want, that peace of mind and stability, somewhere to raise a family. So he does a really good job at really breaking down your steps for your first initial investments. He also does a great job at pointing out our flawed school system, because there are pretty much no classes that talk about, how we should handle money, or teaching us about, the steps to take towards financial success. We spend years in school and we learn nothing about handling money. The bottom line with this book is, we're all taught to work for money, but we're rarely taught to have money work for us. One of the best quotes to come out of this book is, "I am concerned that too many people are focused too much on money and not on their greatest wealth, which is their education." The second book is The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown. So Brené Brown is big on doing tons of research before writing her books, like almost decade-long research. Well, she's a research professor at the University of Houston, I believe, so that makes sense. And it also makes me, trust her work a little bit more. Not only that, but she's super relatable. She provides a whole lot of, real-world examples that help you understand everything she's saying. To put this book simply, it's about recognizing your imperfections, embracing them, and knowing that you're enough, that you matter. She talks about the endless messages that we receive on a day-to-day basis about, how we should act, how we should look and feel, how we should be. We get stuck in this impossible quest for, what the media displays as perfection. She emphasizes that, no matter how much we get done in a day and how much is left undone, we're still enough. And you should go to bed knowing that. And yes, we're imperfect and vulnerable, but that doesn't change the fact that we're all worthy of love and belonging. This book is great. It connects with your emotions, and it has a ton of those little aha moments. I learned a lot about myself with this book, and it taught me a lot about the way that I act. Why I do the things that I do. Worthiness doesn't have prerequisites. The last book, excuse my language, is Unfuck Yourself by Gary John Bishop. This book is huge if you feel like, you're on this never-ending hamster wheel-like cycle in life and never really accomplishing what you want. It's very motivating and insightful into our thought patterns and, why we choose to do the things we do and why we put ourselves in bad situations without really realizing it. This book wakes you up and gives you a clear understanding of what your roadblocks are and what your true potential is. If you find yourself procrastinating a lot or just being unhappy with your current situation, then I suggest giving this book a chance to get you out of that rut. You have the life you're willing to put up with. The last thing I'm going to do before I wrap up this video is give you all the book suggestions that you all gave me throughout my journey. These are all on my list of books to read over the next, however many months or years, and I just wanted to share the list with everyone here in hopes to maybe inspire you for your next read. If there's a book that isn't on this list and, wasn't mentioned in the video, but you still think people should read it, definitely let us know in the comments. I'd also love to hear from all the readers out there what you thought about this video. This is a habit that I never want to lose, and I want to continue reading and learning as long as I'm able to. If you've considered picking up this habit or reading more often, here's your sign to do it. You won't regret it. You'll only regret not doing it sooner. Okay, that's it for challenge number 3. If you haven't watched the first 2, I'll put them down in the description below. They're about meditating and not using social media, so check those out. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I don't want to beg you, obviously. It's a little weird, but it helps a lot. Also, if you like the video, helps me get more views, helps me, get this channel off the ground. So I appreciate you all. Thank you, and see you in the next one.